Hi guys, this is Mindy Eggen and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I Copic colored this floral image and the leaves. The stamp set that I'm using today comes from Gina Designs and it's called Love at All Times. It has this beautiful bouquet down at the bottom and also some solid images, but I really wanted to color up this line image here. So I lined it up into my MISTI tool. And I have a piece of Neenah Solar White cardstock that is 80 pounds and it's cut to 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm stamping this in the Amalgam Obsidian ink. Now I want to show you this great new tool that was sent to me by the Stampin' Bug. If you have ever watched any of Gina's lives, she's shown her Chucky tool many times, and this is very similar to it. It just helps me put pressure across the top of my MISTI to stamp down that image instead of me using my sleeve, which you've probably seen me do many times. So this is a lot quicker and faster to just stamp that image down and apply pressure over the door of my MISTI. Now I'm going to start coloring one of the flowers from the stamp set. I'll have the colors listed across the top of the screen. I'm going to use the same 4 colors on all of the flowers. I'm starting with my darkest color in the middle of the flower, which is RV69, and I'm just adding small flicks. So if you can watch my hand movement, I'm just flicking that color. So it's going to end up with a really fine point at the end of it, not extending out very far. Now some of these petals look like they were kind of curled up on themselves, so I added a little bit of a shadow layer there. Then I'm going to come in and I'm going to repeat these steps with RV29, once again adding those flicks. Now it also helps if your flicks are uneven. That kind of helps give it a more realistic look to your flower. You could avoid the flicks and just do straight blending. That is a beautiful coloring way too. Whatever you are comfortable with. The flicking, I always did kind of off on the side on a scratch piece of paper for the longest time, just practicing those flicks, and you kind of let up at the end so it gives that nice fine point. Now I'm blending out with the RV14. Extending that color just a little bit. I'm not going back to the darkest color. I'm starting from that second one that I just left off on. And then I'm going to finish blending with the RV13, and I'm just filling in that area, coming in a little bit to that previous color. I don't go all the way back to the darkest because the more color you apply to that, the more it's going to take away that dark color. And I really want a lot of contrast here. Now I did speed up the portion, the rest of the coloring here for you, but I left it in. And I want to just talk about Copic coloring a little bit. Number one, very cliche, but practice. I've been coloring for quite a few years. I don't know everything about it, and I don't want to, honestly. I'm really comfortable with where I'm at in my coloring, but it did take a lot of practice. I also personally like a lot of contrast, so you will see me use 3 or 4 colors a lot of times, especially in flowers. Another thing is cardstock. I personally like to use an 80-pound cardstock. I just like how the ink absorbs into the cardstock. There are some others out there. Some of them, I think it was Express It, to me kind of has too much of a sheen to it. I personally had just grown to like the 80-pound. That's what I'm comfortable with, and I'm quick at it, so that's just what I stick with. Now I know a lot of people get hung up on shadows, and for instance this leaf here, I chose one side of the leaf to put the darkest color on. You can look at a real flower and just really take a look at where your light source is coming from. I've had plenty of times where I've taken like the glue topper of my bottle and I just put it on one side of my paper, and to me I just kind of imagine that as being the sun or a flashlight, and that helps me kind of figure out where the lightest color is going to be on my image. But quite honestly, if you're worried about the shadow areas, just pick one side of whatever image you're coloring to be the darkest. The person getting the card, I don't think is going to critique you as far as where your shadows are and if they're correct. I think they're just going to be really happy with the card itself. So really don't overthink that process. Now, after I have everything colored, I'm going to take the master layouts 1 and 2, and I am going to create a frame. So this is some gold foil cardstock. the 1 and 2 layers, and I'm lining them up together, making sure that that space in between is even. And once I have that even, I'm going to hold those dies together with some low tack tape and run this through the die cut machine. Now I also need to cut out my image here to be 4¼ by 5½. I didn't trust my cutting skills, so I am just using a rectangle die that will measure 4¼ by 5½. Then I can take my gold foil frame and I'm just adding some Connect glue to the back of that, and I'm going to place this right over my image. The reason I used a rectangle die to die cut that out is I could pick and choose where I was going to be die cutting that image out of that cardstock. So very helpful to have those on hand. Now I chose a small sentiment off of the Heartfelt Bouquet stamp set, and I'm lining this up on a piece of black cardstock, and I'm going to prep that cardstock with an anti-static powder tool. I want to make sure that my embossing powder only sticks to my inked area and not the entire card, especially where I live in Wisconsin where everything is super staticky. So that anti-static powder really does help. Then I'm inking that sentiment up with embossing ink, and I'm going to just lightly stamp that down. And I will sprinkle on some white embossing powder, just tapping off any of that excess back into my container. I have about 2 or 3 jars of Gina's white embossing powder in that just kind of Tupperware container. And then once my heat tool is really nice and hot, I can melt the embossing powder. I'm using the Master Layouts 3 die to die cut out this flag banner, but you could look through any of your banners or cut it with your paper trimmer. I just really like being able to line up my sentiment nice and even with the dies. Then I'm just trimming off one end of the banner because I want to put this flush against one side of my frame that I have there. So I'm adding some of the dot runner to the back of that sentiment, and I'm going to place that right on the card front, lining that up flush with the edge of that gold frame. Then to finish off the card, I'm going to bring in some of the Gina K Designs clear dewdrops, and I'm adding 3 of them kind of around my sentiment. They are very subtle because they're clear and it's a white cardstock, and I'm just adding little dots of the Connect glue and then picking that up with my embellishment one and adding those embellishments. I know they're hard to see in the picture, but in real life, it's really pretty. And that will finish off my card. I hope these tips help you in your Copic coloring, and definitely keep practicing. It's honestly the best way that we can learn. If you haven't already, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and become a subscriber to my channel, and hit the bell to be notified of any future videos that I post. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you again real soon.